Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It feels like forever since I filmed like a regular sit down video, like not a vlog. It feels like forever since I've done that, so we're getting back into the groove of things, I guess. But today I'm going to be talking about the books I plan to read in August, so my August TBR. And unfortunately, it's going to be like a short and simple kind of month. Like, I'm still feeling very ambitious for the books I want to read this month, but the reason I'm trying to limit myself is because I start school on the 19th, and that's just gonna turn my life around. Not very dramatically, but it's just gonna be a whole new routine that I'll have to adjust to, and I really don't know how much reading I'll get done. Like, obviously I'm still going to be reading, like I still plan to read a lot of books when school starts and as I continue into school, but for that adjustment period, I'm just like, it just might be, not as much as I normally do, which is sad, but I'm still gonna make it happen no matter what. As much as I really want to read like every book off my shelf this month, sadly I won't be able to. I'm still going to set a great TBR for this month. I'm still super excited to read. I'm very much in a reading mood for like so many books. Like, I look at my shelves every day and I'm like, I could definitely pick that up right now, but I'm currently in the middle of like so many books, so that's not really a good thing. It's also the last day of July as I'm filming this. It's currently actually 10:30 on July 31st, so it's really almost August. So plans will probably change, but these are all the books that I at least like to get to. So I think I'm gonna split this video into two parts, where I talk about the books I definitely plan on reading and the books that, if I'm able to, I'd like to get to. The first part are books that I'm gonna hold myself to, like hopefully will read no matter what, but the second half of books are gonna be books that like are on my radar, that like if I get the chance, if I need something to pick up, I will go for those ones. So without further ado, let's go. So normally for my monthly TBRs, I try and pull from my TBR jar, which has different prompts in it that helps me choose books off my TBR that I'd like to read for the month. And I really enjoy doing this, but I've been in the mood for so many different books that I feel like in order to satisfy that like craving, I guess, or that need that I've had recently, I'm just gonna pick the ones that are calling to me, to not like hold myself back and just really like allow myself to read what I want, just to mood read for a bit. So that's what we're gonna do. Also, to note, I did think I was going to be doing the autumn equinox readathon for the magical readathon in August, but it's come to my attention that that's moved to September, which honestly works out better for me because I probably would have failed it anyways in August since school is starting. So I plan to do it in September. If it will be happening then, I'm not too sure. But I'm still planning to do that if possible. The first book I'm going to talk about is a book I'm currently halfway through, and my plan was to finish it by the end of this month, but as I just told you, it's literally 10:30 on July 31st, so that probably won't be happening since I am halfway through. But it's Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu. This is a fantasy romance that follows this main character named Alara, who is a princess of this kingdom, and she basically has to run away for a certain reason that I won't say because it's really interesting. And this whole world called Celestia is run by these gods, which are basically stars, and they're inspired by the zodiac, which I'm not really familiar with like zodiac signs and I don't really follow them, but I can see like how they correlate, and it's super interesting. I love the main character and I love the love interest, or like the male main character, I guess. Their dynamic is amazing, and just the world building and everything is phenomenal. And so far I am just obsessed with this. I'm just reading it very, very slowly. So my plan is to finish this in early August. I really don't want to keep this going on for the whole month, and I plan to just continue this and really finish it because I am eating it up. It's amazing. Highly recommend this. Okay, so for the first section, which is books that I hopefully will be definitely reading this month, or that I really want to read this month, and I will make possible in any way I can, we're gonna start by going back to the beginning of this year, where I created my journal spreads, and I created this spread, which is my must-reads of 2024. And as you can see, none of them have been read, which is kind of embarrassing when it's August, pretty much, and we are over halfway through the year. And I have not read any of my must-reads of 2024 that I said, if I don't read these books, I will be very mad at myself. Get these off your shelves. Not as in get these off your shelves as in like get rid of them, but just like read them. you've been so excited about them, Nora. Why haven't you read them yet? But I have this thing where I get really intimidated by books I think I'm gonna like, and therefore I like put them off and then I don't read them until it's way too late, and then I just am like, why didn't I read this sooner? So my goal from here on out, from August until the end of this year, is to read at least one and possibly two off this list every month. I know I probably won't get all of these off my list, but if I can help it, I'd like to cross at least most of them off. That's probably too ambitious still, but I just don't want to end this year and like have made this spread and then not check off any of them. Like that's so disappointing. So I know it's really just a silly journal spread, but still I'll be frustrated. So with that being said, the first book that I am so excited to be reading soon is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I reread Strange the Dreamer in July by her, which is the first book of this duology, and I was just reminded why it's my favorite book ever. It's such a 6-star read. It's phenomenal. For a brief summary, it follows Laszlo Strange, who is an orphan and a librarian in this great library in this great city, and he's always been fascinated with this mystery about this city called Weep, and he gets the opportunity to go there and unravel all the mysteries. And there's so much more to that story, but that is literally all I'm going to tell you if you're watching this, because I believe everyone should go into that book blind, because you will have the best experience ever. I didn't know much about it when I first started reading it, and it's my favorite book of all time. It's just so magical and whimsical and just amazing, and I love it so much. And this is the sequel, and I can't believe I haven't read it yet, but I reread Strange the Dreamer, as I said, and I just am so ready to dig into this and finally find out what happens and see if my theories are correct, and I just hope my babies are okay. I just hope the characters are okay. I love them so much and I just want them all to have happy endings. So I'm really nervous for this, but this is definitely going to be like one of my biggest priorities this month. Like if I don't read anything else, it will be this, because I have been waiting to read this for so freaking long. The next book, which is also very much a priority and I will definitely be reading in August, is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is an ARC. This actually comes out in September, but thankfully the publisher sent this to me after I requested it. I'm so grateful to have this, and honestly still like can't believe that I have it. Like that's kind of crazy, but I followed this author on Instagram for like ever. I followed her ever since she was writing this book and was self-publishing, and so now that it's being like traditionally published, like super widespread, I'm just so ready to finally read the story and just fall in love with it. I really hope I love it. I think I will, but it basically follows this main character named Elowen, who is a princess, but she's stripped from her kingdom and her dragons that she has, and it basically follows her and her, I assume, found family as she tries to like get back her dragons and like form her own kingdom. At least I think that's what it is from what I've seen, but I can't say too much because this is not out and I don't want to give too much away, but that's what I've read off here. So this cover is just gorgeous. Like I am obsessed with the green and the dragons and the flowers and just everything. I'm so excited to read this. I don't know which one I'll start first, either this or Muse of Nightmares. It's gonna be really hard to pick. It's good to have balance. So the next book I have is Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is not as much of a priority as the other two are, but I still think it's really good to have like a silly little romance just to like break up all the fantasy that I'm consuming. I'm in such a fantasy mood, but I want to continue the series as well, and it's from the library, so I have limited time. But this follows Jasper, who's the hockey player. This is book 3 of the Chestnut Springs series, and it is the Eaton brothers' like childhood friend. So it doesn't follow one of the brothers from the series that we're familiar with. It's basically like an honorary family member, and I'm not 100% sure of what like the plot line of this is supposed to be, but I just know it's gonna be a fun, goofy time and really just like lighthearted and easy, which is always good to have something like that to read. So I'm excited for this. I love the purple on the cover, and hopefully I can read this month. I really, really want to, because I am very surprised by this series. It keeps surprising me by each book I read, and I hope it keeps getting better and better. And then the last book on my definite reads list for August, or my hopefully definite reads list for August, is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa, which is Japanese, I think, translated fiction, and it's just a short little book. It's really, really small. It follows, I think, this high school student who is in charge of either his uncle's or his grandpa's bookshop. Either one of those, I'm not too sure. and I think he has to close it. But then this magical cat shows up and he helps him save the bookshop and helps other people love reading again and like inspires reading in other people. At least that's what I read from the summary. But just a cat and books together just sounded like my cup of tea, like right up my street. So I'm really excited for this. I hope it's quick and easy. I've really been looking forward to reading this, and hopefully I really love it. I just feel like it'll just be fun and lighthearted, kind of like Powerless, but a bit different. That concludes the first section of books, my hopeful definite reads. So now we're going to move on to the books that I would like to read if possible, but I'm not really going to hold myself to. Like, they're more just on my radar and kind of just like maybes, because you know, ideally in a perfect world I would love to read them and I definitely would read them, but like I said earlier, with school starting, I'm not sure how that's gonna go, especially because I have 2 literature classes. That's probably gonna be a lot of reading, and like not fun reading, you know, not the stuff I want to read. So we'll start with Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've been dying to start this series for so long, especially because I hear everyone talk about the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I know they say you don't technically have to read the Caraval trilogy before you read that series, but I really want to, just because I think I would love this. It's basically just a big carnival, like magical carnival, and it follows the main character's name is Scarlet, and her sister basically goes missing at this big carnival, and she has to find out where she is. And it sounds so magical, and I've heard that Stephanie Garber's writing is just so well done, and she's such a great writer. I wish I read this earlier when it was first really popular, but either way, I'm still really excited to dig into this, and I really hope I can. Okay, and then the next one that's also on my radar is Unladylike Lessons of Love by Amita Murray. This is a historical romance. It follows the main character named Lila, who is kind of like a socialite, like in London. It's kind of like very much Bridgerton vibes is what I get from it, but just a bit darker, because she is involved with this gaming club, and it's like gambling and kind of like Six of Crows, like Kaz Brekker vibes, where it's like gambling and that kind of stuff, just like not the greatest people ever there, but she's also like, you know, supposed to be prim and proper. So it sounds like a really interesting concept, and then this guy comes banging through her door one night accusing her of being his father's mistress, which is like, bro, I think you got the wrong place. Seems like a really interesting concept, and it again is really short, and I just really hope I like the romance in this. Sometimes I'm really picky with romance, but I really think I will like this. I haven't heard anything about it. I literally got it in a blind date with a book thing at a bookstore I went to with my friend, so I have high hopes. Hopefully it delivers, and again, I'm not really sure if I'll get to this, but hopefully I can. The last book, y'all are probably gonna all roast me because you're gonna be like, Nora, why have you still not read that book? You've been reading it since March, since April, for a long freaking time. How have you not finished it yet? It's Dune by Frank Herbert. I am still at part 2, book 2. I haven't made any progress since I last stopped. And believe me, I've been dying to. Like, the amount of times I've thought about Dune, not just the book, but like the movie and just the story in general and how freaking amazing it is. I've thought about it every single day, and I've been itching to pick this up, but I feel like I can't read it unless I'm listening to the soundtrack, and that involves me like sitting down and like focusing and really just thinking. And this summer has not been for that. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I read this a lot faster when I was in school. So I'm not saying I'll save it till I start school, because that seems like it'll backfire on me. But I remember when I started this, it was the end of the semester, and I read 200 pages in probably a week of this dense sci-fi book. And I loved every second of it. So I'm ready to dig back in. I've been ready. This is my Roman Empire. I know that phrase is kind of dead now, but this is literally my Roman Empire. I love it so much, and I'm honestly just so mad at myself that I haven't finished it, but for those reasons I just said, you know why. So again, not promising that I'll finish it this month. It would be phenomenal if I could. It took me all summer, but it would be great if I could. But even if I just read like, you know, 100 pages a month, finish it before the end of the year, I'll take it, because I love this book no matter what. So And then the other books that are on my radar for this month, I don't technically own, but I will get them from the library, and that is the rest of the Saga series by Brian K. Vaughan. It's a sci-fi graphic novel series that I've been reading on my iPad, and I've loved every second of it. I'm currently up to volume 7, and I think as of now, I think there's 12 volumes, maybe 11. I'm not really 100% sure of the number, but I have a ways to go. So I'd really like to read at least 1 or 2 more volumes, maybe even 3, who knows? I might go crazy. But I'd like to read more of that series just because I'm really getting into the meat of it, and it's been so cool to see how it progresses and how like the bonds of the characters get tighter and tighter and how their relationships and like their arcs unfold. It's really, really well done. I highly recommend that series, and I'm super excited to continue. So I would definitely put way more books on this list that I've been thinking about, like such as Happy Place by Emily Henry or starting the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare, but I know that those are books that like I need to save for when I'm able to devote my full attention from them. Maybe that's because I have high expectations for them and I think I'll really love them. But I don't know. I just feel like I already have so many books on this TBR that I'm really, really excited for, that I feel like if I overwhelm myself with each and every one of them that I'm excited for, it'll just be too much and I just won't read it all. And I don't want that to happen. This is what we're no. This is what we're gonna stick with. I won't hold up the other 3 because technically they're not on the TBR, but I think 4 books is pretty good for a monthly TBR. I feel like that's what I read averagely, not including like graphic novels and anything. So I feel like this is accomplishable. We'll see how it goes, but I have backups just in case. So that is all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and hopefully I can deliver with this month's reading. I don't know how much I'll vlog just because with school and everything, and I vlogged the entire month of July, so I'm kind of ready for a break. But I will have more videos out. I'm planning to like pre-film a couple things just so when I do start school, that won't be like another stressor on me. So you should expect more soon. But anyways, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.